Hello there, everyone. Here's some of us heading your way tonight to your news at 9.
The state of Kansas has moved into phase 2 of coronavirus vaccine distribution. I'm Zach Dodge with what eligible residents should do to get the vaccine. Coming up.
President Biden issues several new executive orders to fight the coronavirus pandemic. I'm Jonathan Seri in Atlanta. I'll have details coming up.
President Biden uses his second day in office to highlight one of his top priorities. I'm Ray Bogan in Washington. We've got more on President Biden's coronavirus relief plan coming up.
Doug Heddy is weather. Jacob Leonard has sports. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Avi. Several Southeast Kansas law enforcement agencies team up to find and arrest a suspect in multiple crimes, including shootings in Coffeyville and Independence. Authorities say Benjamin Whitaker was found overnight in Yates Center after an air and ground search. Whitaker was previously released on furlough by a Montgomery County judge to attend his grandmother's funeral, but he never came back. Authorities also say Whitaker stole money from an ATM in Parsons while furloughed. He's being held at the Woodson County Jail. A Neosho, Missouri man is dead from a single vehicle wreck. It all happened at around 9 last night, about 6 miles west of Neosho. Missouri State Highway Patrol says 40-year-old Jeremiah Durbin was heading west on Old U.S. Highway 60 when his vehicle left the right side of the road, hit a tree, and overturned. Durbin died at the scene. Well, Kansas is moving into phase 2 of coronavirus vaccine distribution. The shift opens up eligibility to Kansas 65 and older residents who live in congregate housing like homeless shelters or correctional facilities. Also, high contact critical workers. Local distribution is going to be handled by county health departments. KOAM's Zach Dodge has what Southeast Kansas need to do to get signed up.
We are super ready and we're super excited.
And Cherokee County Public Information Officer David Groves says the same. They're ready to start on phase 2.
The health department started scheduling appointments this morning, and we'll have our first drive-through vaccination event tomorrow here in Columbus.
Kansas Governor Laura Kelly has announced the move to phase 2 of the vaccination plan, making 1 million more Kansans eligible to get the vaccine, something that will be handled by each county health department. In most cases, residents will need to have an appointment. So let's go over how to do that. Cherokee County residents should call 620-429-3087 to make an appointment or be placed on the waiting list. Once more vaccine is available, residents on the waiting list will be contacted by the health department. Wilson County is doing something similar and ask that residents call the health department at 620-378-4455. Residents can also sign up on the Wilson Medical Center website. Labette County residents should call 620-778-6272 to make an appointment or be placed on the waiting list. Neosho County residents can call the health department at 620-431-5770. The SEK Multi-County Health Department says residents in Bourbon, Allen, and Woodson counties won't need to make an appointment because they're planning mass vaccine clinics. Those will be announced once they're scheduled. And finally, officials in Crawford County say they're ready to activate phase 2 and anticipate vaccine will arrive in mid-February, but we do not know if they're currently making a waiting list. All of the officials we talked to ask that you please be patient because vaccine supply is still limited, so appointments will be 2.
Eventually, we'll get enough vaccine to be able to vaccinate whoever wants to be vaccinated. And we hope that happens sooner rather than later. But until then, we are doing our absolute best.
Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
The story talks about a lot of information, several phone numbers. Don't worry, though. We've also added this information to the vaccine page on our website. That's koamnewsnow.com/vaccine. The COVID-19 death toll has taken a big jump in Jasper County and in Joplin. The Jasper County Health Department reports 6 more COVID deaths in the county. One patient was a woman in her 70s. The other 5 were men, one in his 80s, one in his 70s, and 2 in their 60s. This brings Jasper County death toll to 119. That does not include the death toll in the Joplin city limits, which today climbed by 7. That brings the city's total to 112. One was a 50-year-old man. The other 6 were all women in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. To get updated COVID information from other area communities, click on the link at KOAMNewsNow.com. States across the country are trying to ramp up those vaccine distributions, but they say a lack of supply is preventing them from inoculating more groups. This coming as President Biden addresses his strategy to control the coronavirus. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Seary has more.
On his first full day in office, President Biden is laying out plans to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. He announced 10 executive orders, including mandating face masks on public transportation and giving states more funding for the vaccine rollout. The president also directing agencies to use the Defense Production Act to create more protective equipment.
We will get through this. We will defeat this pandemic. And to a nation waiting for action, let me be the clearest on this point. Help is on the way.
Biden's chief medical advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, said the U.S. will also resume funding for the World Health Organization and join global efforts to fairly distribute vaccines.
The United States sees technical collaboration at all levels as a fundamental part of our relationship with WHO.
Here at home, the Biden administration faces complaints from state officials that they're running low on vaccine supply. Expectations for shipments have fallen short, forcing thousands of people to reschedule their vaccine appointments. West Virginia officials say they're nearly out of supply after receiving fewer doses than anticipated. In California, health officials estimate vaccinations for people 65 and older could take until June, further delaying shots for other groups.
Right now, we're moving fairly slowly because we just don't have enough vaccine.
Another vaccine could be on the way. Johnson & Johnson expects to release clinical trial results for its vaccine before the end of the month. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seary, Fox News.
Mr. Doug Heddy joining us now with the first look at the forecast. A little bit of sunshine today.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad across the region. A little bit of sunshine late in the day, but temperatures still not that bad as we started at 51 for an afternoon high. Average high is 45 degrees, but a lot of clouds kind of in and out all day long. Still, we have partly to mostly cloudy skies, and that's what we're going to see through the overnight hours for us tonight as a weak little system kind of passes to our south. It's not really going to affect us. It's just going to give us those clouds. We actually have better chances for rain and even some wintry weather late in the weekend and then early next week. Temperatures right now, mid-30s to about 40 degrees. We're going to drop off into the lower 30s later on tonight, but at least the winds aren't very strong, and they're going to stay at least fairly light throughout the overnight hours. Of course, we're going to break down our next storm systems here in just a bit.
All right, Doug, thank you. As part of his first day in office, President Joe Biden revoked the cross-border permit for the Keystone XL oil pipeline, effectively stopping its development. U.S. Senator from Missouri James Langford issued a statement against the order. It says, in part, limiting access to an oil pipeline kills jobs and limits our energy supply. Kicking people who work in the energy sector on day one may help progressive politics, but in Oklahoma, we know our jobs and livelihoods are next. Now, supporters of the move say it's going to help in the battle against climate change, also limit destruction of Native American land. It was President Biden's second day today on the job. If yesterday's executive actions were mostly about undoing key policies from the Trump administration, as we just heard about, today's executive orders were all about COVID-19 and the Biden administration's plans to get control of the virus. Fox News correspondent Ray Bogut is in D.C. with the latest on what the president worked on.
President Biden's top priority is COVID-19 and distributing 100 million vaccines in 100 days. Today, he released more of his plan to make it happen.
This is the plan.
President Biden's first full day on the job kicked off another flurry of activity. He released his national strategy to end the pandemic and signed 10 more executive orders, all virus-related.
Our national strategy is comprehensive. It's based on science.
The president wants to speed up the vaccination process. He's using the Defense Production Act to mandate companies make more testing and vaccine supplies.
And while the vaccines provide so much hope, the rollout has been a dismal failure thus far.
The president wants to move quickly, especially since the Labor Department released its latest jobless claims Thursday. Another 900,000 Americans filed for unemployment last week, which means the U.S. jobless numbers are still at historically high levels. On Capitol Hill, the president wants Congress to get moving quickly, too. He's asking lawmakers to pass another $1.9 trillion relief package, but he needs Republican support.
I don't think that we should move forward with a huge budget that would really just fulfill a lot of long-standing Democratic wishes.
But impeachment talk is overshadowing Biden's plans.
The fact is, the President of the United States committed an act of incitement of insurrection. I don't think it's very unifying to say, oh, let's just forget it and move on.
President Biden also wants his cabinet secretaries approved by the Senate. So far, 1 has been confirmed and 6 nominees have had a hearing. In Washington, Ray Bogan, Fox News.
Thousands of wreaths were removed from the Fort Scott National Cemetery after they were put out there for the holidays. 3 crews of about 10 to 15 people worked in stages, removing 6,300 of those wreaths. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time to honor another four-state hero. Chance Powelson has served in the U.S. Army. Native of Moran, Kansas, Powelson has been stationed in Baghdad, Iraq. We are proud to thank Chance Powelson. He is tonight's four-state hero. Doug is up next with a complete look at the forecast. A bit later, the Pitt State women put their 7-game winning streak on the line against undefeated Nebraska Kearney. Going to have highlights in sports.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a decent day for us today. Temperatures right around 50 degrees, which is not bad for this time of the year, even though we had a lot of clouds throughout the daytime hours for us today. Rain chances rolling in late Saturday into Sunday. Until then, we're okay. Rain and snow chances on Monday, and then rain and snow chances again on Wednesday. Of course, you can get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOAM Newsnow.com. Most of us right around 50, 51 for an afternoon high. A little warmer in our southern counties, and we've dropped off a bit. Yates Center 33, 38 in Oswego. Pittsburgh at 35. Anderson is sitting at 39 degrees. We do have a lot of clouds still kind of pushing through the region, just nothing underneath the clouds. So we are staying dry, but we do have a weak system which is passing to our south, and it's producing some rain down across parts of the Dixie states, all the way west into Texas, and then even all the way into New Mexico. But this is going to skirt to our south, so we're going to focus on the west coast. This is our next storm system that will start to affect us by the time we head into the weekend. In fact, let's go through time. So tomorrow looks fine. Saturday, you can see the storm system's digging out west. The first one rolls in, so this is going to be Sunday and Monday. It quickly pushes east. Then a second one rolls in by the time we head into Wednesday of next week. So at least we get a little bit more action into the forecast. For us tonight, partly cloudy. We'll drop back 30, 31 degrees. On Friday, not bad. Partly sunny. A little bit cooler than what we saw today. Still not too bad. 31 to start, 41 by noon. High temp right around 46. Northeasterly winds, a little breezy at about 10 to 15. Tomorrow night, we drop back into the upper 20s, but look at the clouds increasing by Saturday. Really thickening up throughout the day. I think most of the day is going to be dry. We could get a random shower or two in here as a warm front lifts through, but that should be just about it. It's mainly Saturday night into Sunday. So let's go into Sunday morning, some light showers, and then picking up as we head into the afternoon hours. This should be mostly rain. A cold front slides through, and then the back side of the system starts developing by Monday morning, and we get another burst of rain on Monday, which could end with a little bit of snow by the time it pushes out by Monday afternoon. So that's what we're going to be watching, our next storm system, as we head into the weekend. Now, last time this happened in the pattern was December 11th. We got rain with a little bit of snow on the backside, so I expect for us to see pretty much the same thing as we head into Sunday and Monday. If you're heading north, Arrowhead, I guess technically a night game because it starts at 5:40. We're going to be into the mid-30s, dropping into lower 30s, but through the game, sleet and snow could start to pick up. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Of course, Buffalo has no problem playing in the cold and snow, and it doesn't seem like the Chiefs really do as well. 46 tomorrow, 48 Saturday, 50 on Sunday, 45 on Monday, a break Tuesday, and then rain and snow chances again by Wednesday.
So enjoy the rest of this week.
Yeah, next day and a half looks pretty good.
Yeah, they do. All right, Doug, thank you so much. Coming up, the world reacts to a new U.S. president.
Plenty of praise for Joe Biden overseas as he takes over as the leader of the free world. I'm Benjamin Hall in London with all the details coming up.
The kudos keep coming from President Biden from world leaders who are happy with his early moves on immigration and climate change. Fox News correspondent Benjamin Hall has more from London.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
President Biden getting a significant honeymoon from world leaders who have been praising his day one actions on climate change and immigration. The Biden administration announced on Wednesday they'll immediately stop building the wall along the southern border and issued a 100-day moratorium on most deportations. Most Central American leaders are welcoming the change and anticipating better relations with the U.S.
I have no doubt I am at peace, optimistic, because the relationship with President Biden will be very good.
But America's adversaries have a long list of requests and demands of the new administration, including Russia, which made it clear it wants to see a renewal of missile treaties abandoned by President Trump, calling it the best way to avoid an escalation of military tensions.
We would like to urge the American side once again to pay attention to Russia's proposals for preventing the emergence of another missile crisis in Europe.
And in the Middle East, Iran is pushing hard for the U.S. to rejoin the nuclear agreement and end crippling sanctions. But America's regional allies, including Israel, say that would be a big mistake. And while they'd like to see some movement in the peace process with the Palestinians, the main focus should be confronting Tehran.
I look forward to working with you to confront common challenges, chief among them the threat posed by Iran.
President Biden also cancelled the Keystone XL pipeline, which would have carried oil from Canada to the U.S. He's expected to discuss it with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on Friday. In London, Benjamin Hall, Fox News.
Just ahead, going to hear about a bit of a catch-22 here.
The eviction moratorium has been extended until the end of March, helping millions of Americans across the country. However, it does have unintended consequences. I'm Christina Parts-Nevis in New York City. Why smaller landlords are struggling to make ends meet. That's coming up.
President Biden's first actions on day one of his presidency was addressing financial hardships brought on by the coronavirus pandemic. While some actions are helping tenants, Fox Business Network's Christina Parts-Nevis tells us how landlords are struggling.
President Biden's push to extend the eviction moratorium across the country definitely helps a lot of struggling Americans, but it also has unintended consequences, specifically for landlords that have private properties and are not getting that income from renters. And now it could get worse.
With this eviction moratorium, you could be there for God knows how long. I don't know. I can't live my life.
To date, I've lost probably around 80,000, which, for folks in New York City, that doesn't sound like a lot, but up here, that's a decent amount here in Monroe County. And I continue to lose more each month.
There's no doubt Americans are struggling. 1 in 5 renters are behind in payments. Here in New York City alone, it's estimated that tenants owe $1 billion in rent payments just over the course of the pandemic. However, dozens of landlords say that a lot of Americans are taking advantage of the eviction moratorium as an excuse to skip out on rent. I spoke to one couple that says that their tenants are posting lavish pictures online, but they're not paying their rent.
We have a huge room for abuse, and our tenants are really a big example of that. They haven't paid at that time. They still remain in the house, and evidently they had very lavish lifestyle.
I spoke to the tenant of that home, and he claims he tried to offer the landlords cash and they wouldn't accept it. Right now, Americans just need to fill out a financial hardship form online, but they don't need to prove that they are missing any type of loss of income, which means a lot of landlords are missing out on their mortgage payments and falling behind. In New York, Christina Parts-Nevis, Fox News.
Coming up, the story of a dog who stayed outside the hospital where her best friend was being treated for days. Spent days waiting outside a hospital, waiting for her owner to be discharged. Bunsiak the dog followed the ambulance. Yes, followed the ambulance that transported her 68-year-old owner to a hospital in northern Turkey. The owner was hospitalized with a brain clot and needed to receive treatment that would take several days. Now, a security guard at the hospital says the loyal pet would arrive at the medical center every day at around 9 a.m. and stayed till nightfall. Despite multiple attempts by family members to get the dog home, Bunsiuk would repeatedly run off and return to the hospital on her own. After waiting on the front steps for 6 whole days, that happened. Bunsiuk finally reunited with her owner when he was discharged Wednesday. Isn't that awesome? I have a dog like that. We have 2 dogs. We love both of them, of course, but the second one, our rescue dog, oh, look at that. Our second dog, the rescue dog, kind of thinks she's my wife. You know, she's one of those dogs. 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming your way.
If you're currently looking to get vaccinated against COVID-19 in Southwest Missouri, your options are severely limited. But the director of the Newton County Health Department says that could change as soon as next week. Details are coming up.
KOAM viewer concerned about COVID-19 vaccine access wanted to know why Mercy and Freeman hospitals seem to be the only places in Southwest Missouri where people can get a shot. And she's one of many asking that question. KOAM's Mike Mahoney reached out to Mercy Hospital and a local health department director to learn more.
If you take a look at Missouri's current COVID-19 vaccine map, you might think there are a variety of options when it comes to getting vaccinated in Southwest Missouri. But that's not currently the case. Click on any of those locations with the exception of Joplin's Mercy Hospital, and you'll receive a message saying contact information will be included when provided by the vaccination site. A spokesman for Mercy tells KOAM that he doesn't know why Mercy got the vaccine first, but the Newton County Health Administrator has an idea.
With the Pfizer, you have to use dry ice or extremely cold freezer temperatures that most places don't have those facilities. Moderna, you can keep it refrigerated for 30 days, much easier to handle.
Newton County Health Department head Larry Bergner has been responding to hundreds of emails from folks wondering when and where they can get vaccinated, and he's got an answer.
Many providers were able to order vaccine this week. Yesterday, Wednesday, we actually made an order, and so we anticipate that we'll be getting that vaccine hopefully next week, if not the week after.
And the vaccine might even get here sooner than that, after the Show Me State's vaccination plan got a shot in the arm from the governor and the National Guard.
We will be activating the National Guard to help speed up the vaccination process. Today, we are announcing a partnership between the National Guard, the Department of Health and Senior Services, and other state partners to establish mass vaccination sites across the state. There will be a mass vaccination team assigned to each of Missouri's 9 highway patrol regions. Each team will have the capability to administer as many as 2,500 doses per day.
In Newton County, Missouri, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
The head of the Newton County Health Department says vaccinations will be by appointment only at his facility, and he expects that to be standard operating procedure for most Missouri vaccination spots. Fort Scott, Kansas residents have wanted a local place to get groceries for a while now, and a new general store just opened up. It's called the Star Emporium, as you're seeing right there. Downtown General Store. The owner says he wants to provide budget brands as well as locally sourced produce. Freeman Health System is celebrating providing more than 200 transcatheter aortic valve replacement, or TAVR surgeries. The minimally invasive procedure is used for heart patients who can't risk open heart surgery. Officials say it requires a team of surgeons and represents a milestone for the hospital. Seneca, Missouri School District is considering a 4-day school week. The main reason for considering this change to help the students. The change would extend the school day by about 30 minutes, giving more time to help students in areas they may struggle with. The school district sent out a survey to parents to see how they might feel, and results showed a majority are either in favor of the proposed change or just don't care.
Because I was really expecting it to be about 50-50, 50% of the people for it, 50% of the people against it. But the survey results, we were more along the lines of about 70% were either strongly for it, or, you know what, 5-day, 4-day, it doesn't matter to me.
Now, a committee will meet to develop a 4-day and 5-day school calendar, which will be presented to the school board on February 15th. All right, a bit later, a woman over in Texas says her father was fired for having COVID-19. An attorney there, who we're going to hear from, says for the time being, this is legal.
Well, of course, not a bad day for us today. We did have a lot of clouds across the region, but temperature is pretty good as we went right around 50 for an afternoon high, which we will take. But even though we haven't had a lot of storm systems over the past several days, the pattern will actually start to pick back up as we work into the weekend. Our first system comes in Sunday and Monday, and you got to remember we're on a 46-day cycle this year in the heady pattern. So this system came through on December 11th. The one that's coming through on Sunday and Monday, the one that we had on December 13th comes back through on Wednesday, and we should get a little bit of wintry weather out of them. Of course, you can get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOAM Newsnow.com. And I'm going to skip over a graphic here. Hang on 1 second. All right, temperatures for us today. We went into the lower 50s, so everybody was pretty good. Even though we had the clouds, we still warmed up quite a bit. We're dropping off now, 32 in Iola, 37 in Parsons, 37 in Miami. Still holding on strong. Neosho at about 41. I think most of us will drop right around 30, 31 degrees later on tonight, especially as the clouds start to clear out a little bit more as we have a wave passing to our south. So that's producing rain to the south. It's not really going to affect us. Our next system out across the Pacific Northwest, you can see how the winds kind of kink there out toward Portland, and that system will start to affect us late Saturday, then heading into Sunday. In fact, watch these systems dive in. So here's Sunday morning. That first system shoots out right on top of us. If it would track a little farther south, we would have better chances for snow. It doesn't look like it's going to do so, but this second system will track a little bit farther south, so that's the one that will give us better chances for wintry weather. Let's go through time for us tonight. About 30, 31 for an overnight low. Partly sunny skies. Tomorrow it's Friday, so any Friday is a good Friday. And tomorrow a good Friday. 31 to start, 41 by noon. High temp right around 46. Northerly winds at about 10 to 15. Tomorrow night, kind of cold. Upper 20s for overnight lows, but here come the clouds right back in on Saturday. A warm front shifts through, and we may get a random shower or two as we head into Saturday, but I really think most of the day is going to be dry. Then that first system. So late Saturday into Sunday morning, chances for showers start to increase. By mid-afternoon, a cold front rolls through. That will give us the better chances for rain as we head into late Sunday, Sunday night, and then into Monday. And you can see on the back side, it could mix with a little bit of snow. If you are heading north Arrowhead, right now, they could get into the action as well. They could have kind of a sleet, snow mix kind of building late in the game. Kind of cold temperatures, mainly into the lower 30s. 46 tomorrow, 48 on Saturday. Sunday for us, we're going to go all the way up to 50, and those rain and snow chances on Monday.
For the time being, anyway, no complaints from me, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but at least tomorrow's going to be pretty good.
Yeah. All right, Doug, thanks so much, as always. Coming up in sports, Pitt State women try to knock off a top 5 team in the country. Plus, good news today for Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Sports director Jacob Leonard has details next.
Well, 2 of the hottest teams in the MIAA meet tonight in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh State Gorillas host the undefeated Nebraska Kearney Lopers this evening. The Gorillas enter on a 7-game winning streak. UNK 10-0, ranked 4th in the nation. First quarter, Kaylee DeMitz hits the 3. First lead for Pitt State, but they're down 5 after 1. To the second quarter now, late in the shot clock. Sydney Crane turnaround jumper goes. Then Tristan Gegg drives and finishes. She had 9 in the first half. PSU within 3. Maya Williams hit 2 threes in the third. That's one of them from the right side. Back to Gegg, though. You know how she plays. If she's in the gym, she's open. Gorillas up 1 going to the 4th. Down 6, though, with under 20 seconds remaining. Gegg connects to cut it to 3. She finished the night with 18. Pitt State, though, not able to get back in front. Kearney stays perfect, 57-53.
It just burns for me because I know we could win that game. If we scored a few more points, if she didn't bank that 3 in the beginning of the game. It's just those little things that, in my heart, I knew that we could win this game. For Saturday, we have to put this loss behind us, and we owe Hayes one, so we really need to come in Friday to practice tomorrow, heads in, energy high, and we have to try and get this win Saturday.
To the men's game now, Pitt State aims to avoid a 3rd straight loss against the Lopers. Early on, Cedric Johnson
It's a 3 for UNK. Lopers score the first 7 of the night. Other end, pretty cold start for the Gorillas. Bobby Arthur Williams hits the jumper. Just 2 field goals for PSU in the first 9 minutes. Ike Moore here comes up with a play on defense, gets the steal, finishes on the other end. Gorillas within 6. And just before half, Arthur Williams back to work inside. Pitt State, though, not able to keep up tonight. Lopers sweep the evening 85-75. The Missouri Southern Lions are also at home tonight with a league matchup against Fort Hays State. The Southern women enter the night at 4-6, having lost 3 straight games. Now, tonight against the Tigers, freshman Caitlin Honeycutt scores 12. Amaya Johns adds 10. The Lions fall 70-49. Southern in this one shoots just 31% from the floor. The MSSU men 5-5 right now. They try for back-to-back wins for the first time since November. Lawson Jenkins there, open in the far corner. Southern out to a 6-point lead. Then it's Cam Martin, nice hook. Martin 19 points in this one at the moment. This dude, Stan Scott, I love Stan Scott dunks. He's got 29 so far tonight. This one actually headed to overtime right now, tied at 82. At the high school level, Pittsburgh girls ranked 6th in the state in Class 5A against Carl Junction, ranked 6th in Class 5 in Missouri. It's Carl Junction, though, handing the Dragons their first loss, 75-43. Pittsburgh falls to 6-1 this season. Well, it's definitely not a certainty right now, but Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes is trending toward being available for Sunday's AFC Championship against the Bills. Mahomes was limited at practice today, but did take a majority of the starter reps, according to head coach Andy Reid. Mahomes has been in concussion protocol since suffering an injury in last weekend's game against the Browns. Now, he's still in concussion protocol, along with corner Bashad Breeland, but the fact they were out there today, no doubt, a positive sign.
Listen, they all got good work in, and that was the important thing as we went through today. It was good tempo. The guys again, it was a good first step to getting things going.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Get fired from your job for having COVID-19. Texas woman believes that's what happened to her father even after she says he worked for the company for about 30 years. Fox's Maria Salazar spoke with an employment law attorney about how that can happen.
To me, it was just like total disregard. They don't care. It was nothing.
Furious is how Yvonne Villarreal says she feels that her 69-year-old father was fired and cut off from his health insurance on the same day he told his employer he tested positive for COVID-19. That was on December 30th. The next day, she says, her father's symptoms got worse.
And he had to go into the hospital. We wouldn't have known that his insurance had terminated until I got the letter.
That was the COBRA letter, which gives some workers who lose health benefits the right to continue coverage for a limited time, and typically it's expensive. Yvonne says her father had worked for Yellow Cab Houston, previously Pasadena Taxi, for more than 35 years.
They didn't care anything at all about him.
Can someone be fired for testing positive for COVID-19 in Texas?
Unfortunately, in general, yes. There are exceptions to the rule. And it's going to be dependent upon each individual's circumstances.
Employment lawyer Clayton Craighead in Houston says in rare cases, employees can be protected under the Family and Medical Leave Act or American with Disabilities Act. And last year, Congress also passed the Families First Coronavirus Response Act.
That particular statute gave employees emergency leave for a certain period if they're diagnosed with COVID, or if they're caring for their children who might be, engaging in remote learning, things of that nature due to school closures.
However, the protections applied to smaller businesses and expired on December 31st, although Craighead believes Congress will pass a similar protection under the new Biden administration. He also adds Texas is a right-to-work state.
An employer can terminate an employee for any reason or no reason whatsoever.
But there are federal protections against discrimination such as race, religion, gender, or age.
By default, if you're 40 years old or over, you're in a protected class based on your age.
Craighead says, for example, if a 30-year-old employee was not fired after contracting COVID-19 and an older employee was, that could suggest ageism. Yvonne wonders if that could be the case with her father and insists on getting an explanation for his termination, but she says Yellow Cab has not adequately responded to their questions.
Just don't let stuff just slide off like that, especially if you know it's not right.
All right, going to learn about a new ride at Disneyland, waiting for guests to enjoy once this whole pandemic thing becomes history, sooner rather than later. Hollywood Nation coming your way. Ed is sharing a first look at a new ride. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher are reuniting on screen. We got some more stuff for you. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the latest in the Hollywood Nation.
Oh my God.
Kutcher teams up with Kunis, Mrs. Maisel returns to work, and the web slinger gets a new ride in the Hollywood Nation.
I'm just super excited to share this with the fans.
Tom Holland shares details about Disneyland's upcoming Spider-Man attraction. In a new teaser video, the actor gives a behind-the-scenes look at Web Slingers, a Spider-Man adventure, and shares what guests can expect. It is a new interactive screen ride inspired by his Marvel superhero character, and will be part of the California Park's brand new Avengers campus opening later this year.
This is the big leagues, kid.
Good news for fans of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Production has officially begun on Season 4 of the Amazon Prime Video hit comedy series. The show's star, Rachel Brosnahan, posted an Instagram photo of herself back on set and shared in the caption how different it looks this year. Filming on the upcoming season was delayed due to COVID-19 restrictions. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher are reuniting on screen. The actors and real-life couple who worked together on That 70s Show will star in a Super Bowl commercial for Cheetos. The company released a couple of videos teasing the upcoming ad that will air during the big game on February 7th.
Too much?
Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Can never have too much of Cheetos. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Going to leave you with Mount Etna in Sicily, Italy, erupting. Be safe from this distance anyway. It looks beautiful. Hey, be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.